everybody. Ron Wildman in here on your Middle Georgia Spotlight program. And we'll turn that spotlight to the Gold Dome in Atlanta. And with us, tell us all about it, we have Dale Washburn. Dale is the 144 legislative district. And it starts in Bibb County and spreads out. Dale, good to have you with us. Tell us what your district is.
Honored to be with you, Ron, as always.
You're welcome.
Our district changed some with the recent court-ordered redistricting, and so I'm still in Bibb County, of course, part of the Bibb County delegation. I still have some of Monroe and some of Jones, but I have now parts of Jasper, all of Jasper actually, and part of Putnam. So our district's a little bigger geographically.
Monticello's in it.
Yes.
Oh, I like Monticello.
Yeah, great city, little city.
You got a big territory. How do you get acquainted with areas that you've never had before?
Well, I'm fortunate that, I grew up in Jones County, and of course those were neighboring counties that we played football against and those kind of things. And over the years, I was a county commissioner back in Jones County years ago. And so I know some people in those areas anyway. And we just work the process. You run in, you meet some of them, and I've already been up to Putnam County to speak to their Republican group. I have already had conversations with the sheriffs in those counties. And so you just begin to try to build relationships and go and speak when you have opportunities. I'm supposed to go up to Jasper County soon to speak to their Farm Bureau. And I was in Monroe County last week at a legislative event for their Farm Bureau. So you just get the speaking opportunities that you can, and also just begin to think of people you already know there. Susan Holmes was a former representative in Jasper County. She and Paul are great friends, and they, of course, are a big help to me in making contacts there.
How much of Putnam did you say you have?
I have about half of it. We go through the middle of the city of Edenton. I was up there this week, actually, touring a manufacturing housing plant, which I enjoy.
They got them up there.
They do, and this is a plant that employs a lot of people, and they want to expand, they want to grow and employ more people. I was very impressed with their employees. They employ men and women, and they provide good jobs and pay good wages. And so we are pleased to have a chance to build a relationship with them and to tour that plant and help them with some issues they're facing.
Imagine in Putnam, you've also met with the legendary sheriff up there, Howard Sills.
I have met with Sheriff Sills, and he is legendary.
He sure is.
He is, and I have had a meeting with him. And Sheriff Bush Reese, of course, is a long-term friend of Sheriff Pope in Jasper County. And, of course, Sheriff Freeman in Monroe County I've known well, so we do know all the sheriffs.
Good to know the sheriffs, isn't it?
It is. They are very important to their communities, of course, and I'm honored to have established relationships with all of them, or began to establish relationships. And I've had strong relationships with several of them for years.
You know, I've known you a long time, and you've been in the political scene for many years, but we need new people getting in, don't we?
We do. This job is considered to be part-time, but if you do it right, it can be full-time. We get a lot of requests for constituent service, and we have requests all the time for people who need help with state agencies, which I'm currently working on some things to do with that. Also, if you're a serious legislator and you want to keep up with the issues and want to carry legislation, of course, it takes time and energy to study that and to get ready to do it. And the legislative process is complex. It's not easy. It's not easy to pass legislation. And it's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be hard to do. And so that process, when I got there, I wanted to learn the legislative process. And I have, I think. I've been blessed to pass a number of bills out of the House and carry some Senate bills through the House, and I've had a lot of those bills signed by the governor. So I'm thankful for my legislative success.
For a new person that gets up there their freshman year, how many terms do you think it takes just to get a real handle on things up there? A veteran lawmaker is important to a district.
Well, it is. Thank you for pointing that out. I think it certainly takes a term to just learn a lot of things that there is to learn there. When I got there, I wanted to get to know our leadership, of course, in the Republican Party, but I wanted to learn the legislative process, but I also wanted to build relationships across the aisle. I wanted to make friends with our Democrat colleagues there as well, and I have built some relationships there. You know, there are issues on which we will never agree that deeply divide us, but there's a lot of very good legislation that is passed that is bipartisan in nature, that is good for Georgia. And I think it is important for us. This business is largely a relationship business, I think, and getting things done for Georgia involves relationships, discussion, debate, compromise, and trying to do things at the end of the day are good for Georgia's families.
What are some of the hot issues up there these days? Property tax is always a big thing. Do you get into that any?
Yes, I'm very involved with property taxes, actually. I'm on the Ways and Means Committee, which I'm thankful for. And this year in particular, last summer, I was asked by Chairman Blackerman to chair a study committee on property taxes, on ad valorem taxes. And so we held 2 days of hearings. We had a lot of great testimony from a lot of people, and a lot of good things came out of that. Largely, there's real frustration with our property owners about their taxes because they feel like they're being hit constantly with increases. One area that they get hit with is increased valuations, increased reassessments, which ultimately raises their tax bill. The other side is the millage rate that is set by the county commissions and the school boards, and in some cases, the city councils. So there has begun to be more and more concern about property taxes and the rise of property taxes. So we did this study committee. There was a lot of great information that came out of it. I was reading back over actually last night, and something I was writing, I was looking at our report from that study committee. Largely, the concerns are that people, first of all, just have a poor understanding of how the whole assessment process works. They're also very frustrated with the appeals process that is in place. And then, of course, they're just concerned because the tax bills continue to rise. So from that study committee, there were several bills introduced. I introduced one that was designed to increase transparency about the process and to help with the appeals process. What happened ultimately was there were 3 or more bills introduced. Those bills got combined and were passed out of the House. And then there was negotiation with the Senate, and ultimately a good legislation got passed. It's going to be important to Georgians. And in fact, it deserves some conversation. There'll be a constitutional amendment. The number, I think I have it. The number is House Resolution 1022 that will be on the ballot this fall. If that passes, that does a lot of different things, but it helps with transparency, it helps with the appeals process, it requires that property be reassessed every 3 years, which keeps there being no reassessment, and then suddenly a big jump. The other thing that it does that is big is that it will limit reassessments on homestead to be at about the rate of inflation. Actually, the bill provides that the revenue commissioner chooses the index they use. But a lot of people have been very concerned about their property tax values continuing to increase. The other thing it does is very important if a county, and this is permissive, it gives the county a chance to pass it. It also gives them a chance if they pass that homestead freeze, so to speak. It's not really a freeze, but a limitation of increases. They can pass a referendum to add a penny sales tax to be used only to reduce property taxes. So I know I've said an awful lot in a hurry. Those are just some key pieces of that bill.
This will be on the ballot?
The HR 1022 will be on the
1022.
ballot, and I urge our people to vote yes on that, because it's optional. It gives permission for county governments to do that, but ultimately, it will be an opportunity to keep property taxes lower.
As a part of the property tax issue and everything else, affordable housing is through the roof right now.
Affordable housing is a real crisis in Georgia. We are now in a situation, and you know, I've been in the real estate business a long time. It was in the home building business. I have not built any houses in a long, long time. But the traditional path to financial stability and some net worth building, so to speak, for the typical working class Georgian has always been home ownership. We all have to have shelter, and we all have to pay for shelter. And for somebody to be able to buy a home, of course, we know how that works. The home continues to increase in value, and the debt declines as they pay that off. And over the years, almost painlessly, they're able to create a little nest egg that's there. Right now, because of inflation, there are just not many affordable houses, and we are concerned about that. We're trying to do some things about it. I was on a panel up in Athens with Mayor Miller, actually. Mayor Miller was on the panel as well a few days ago with Habitat for Humanity, which is, of course, a great organization that helps people of limited means get into their first home with some sweat equity and things like that. But we are talking along the lines of what can be done. There have been studies that indicate that local regulation continues to increase, and that adds to the cost of housing. One big issue we have is land use and higher density. If you have water and sewer, of course, you can build more houses on an acre of land. And one of the big cost increasers is the cost of land and the cost of infrastructure. Putting in, of course, water and sewer and streets is very, very expensive. And so if you can build more houses to the acre, then that is a good way to reduce cost. A big decision that I've made recently, we have carried 2 different bills in Atlanta, and we tried different ways to reduce regulation and to be able to allow smaller houses to be built and to be able to allow more houses to be built. But I've come to a decision about that. This is local in nature. Those regulations are local. Our local communities want to be able to control the kind of housing they have, and I understand that. And so I have decided that, yes, it's a crisis. Yes, some things need to be done, but it should not be done at the state level. We should allow our local governments to make those decisions, being mindful of the fact that they're young people who are just getting out of school and going to work need to be able to buy a house.
Because the problem is everywhere. Personal note, I have 2 grandsons. They recently bought houses because they were rent in Atlanta area. Oh, it was unreal.
I know.
But then they bought these houses. I couldn't believe the prices they had to pay for these houses in that area.
I know. It has become just, you know, you just stated it well. The prices are just out of sight now. You know, I typically say this, that the free market will work if you let it work. And if you will allow the free market to work, and for instance, I'm not suggesting that we do anything that would be outside what the health department allows or what the building codes allows. We have some communities in Georgia that require larger lot sizes. In other words, we have to understand that a private property owner has the right, if he develops his property, to restrict it any way he or she wants to. And so if they want to have 2-acre lots, they certainly have the right to do that. But in many of our communities now, our county commissions and our city councils are imposing larger lot sizes. And there's another issue we should think about now. There's a study committee going on right now about protecting farmland in Georgia. And I called Senator Billy Hickman, who's chairing that committee, and I called him the other day, and we've swapped calls 2 or 3 times. I'm going to offer to go and testify to his study committee with that very idea. We can help provide more affordable housing and take a big step toward protecting farmland if we will put more people to the acre in housing. Most people don't particularly want a big lot to maintain. If they do want it, they certainly have the right to buy one. But the idea that local governments are not allowing smaller lots to be used is counterproductive, because it is also, we're eating up more farmland. If you're requiring big lots, then that eats up more farmland.
I wish some of my lot would disappear.
Well, I'm not one who likes a big lot to maintain. My wife and I live out in North Bibb County on a half-acre lot, and that's plenty for me.
Yeah. Another issue that has come up recently, the vaping,
Yeah.
all that steam or smoke or whatever comes out.
Yeah.
What do you have to do with that?
Well, I was actually put on a study committee. I'm on the Regulated Industries Committee. I'm vice chairman of the Regulated Industries Committee, and we had some extensive hearings this year on a bill about these vape shops, and they're popping up everywhere, and there are concerns about what is being sold and what is available to be bought in there. A little side comment from a social aspect is, I think I'm right that many more of our young people are vaping now, which is probably not pleasing to some people. But the point is, there is concern about the product that's being sold. Some of it is done by large tobacco companies, and of course that's well-regulated, highly tested. You're very clear about what is being in that product. Otherwise, though, there are concerns about the products that are being sold and where they come from and the quality of them and the safety of them. So this study committee that I'm on will start meeting in September, and we'll be hearing more testimony about that, and I believe come forward with some legislation to probably have some more control over vape shops.
Speaking of vaping, which probably doesn't have anything to do with this, legally at least, marijuana. What do you know about that? Do you ever deal with any of the marijuana stuff up there?
Well, I have been involved in the medical marijuana issue, and many of us are frustrated about that. It is finally getting to the point now where that can be sold easily. It moved much slower than we wanted it to. I believe that medical marijuana is good medicine that relieves pain and suffering for a lot of people, and I believe that we have a big manufacturing facility here in Macon, out on on Joe Tamplin Boulevard. We have some shops now opening. So I am certainly wanting to see the medical marijuana progress and become available and attainable to those people that need that medicine. We do hear more and more about, of course, states that want recreational marijuana. I don't know that much about that, truthfully. I've been very much in favor of medical marijuana. There's arguments, of course, about recreational. I had always said that I would not support that.
The work you do with the committees, and you get requests from each of these communities we talked about, the counties that you're in, especially in Bibb County since we're here. Do you get much requests throughout the year from the city of Macon, for instance?
Well, of course, we have consolidated government in Macon-Bibb County, and I favored consolidation when it was passed years ago before I got to the legislature. My personal view is it seems to be working well. I think it's sufficient. And we have a number of consolidated governments in Georgia, of course. We do hear from our folks. Of course, the most recent thing that we worked together on was the OLOST, and that has been a big success. Has lowered property taxes here.
A good bit, isn't it? I mean,
I'm sorry?
A good bit
Oh, yes,
lowered.
dramatically. Sales tax And in fact, I asked, when I had the study committee, I invited Mayor Miller and his chief financial person to come up and testify about the old lost here, about what a success it's been. Property taxes, let's talk about that a minute. Property taxes, we talked about it being such a concern, but I'm becoming more and more outspoken about the need to look at changing property taxes dramatically. Our property tax system is a very unfair system. In fact, you know, the word socialism gets thrown around a lot and a lot of times used incorrectly. But property taxes is largely socialistic because a person that owns let's say a person that owns a 50-acre, 100-acre farm, they pay a huge property tax bill, and they don't put any more impact on the community than the person who lives in the $100,000 house. The point is, our local taxation goes to fund education, it goes to fund service delivery for local communities. And it's an unfair system for somebody that happens to own, let's say, a 300, well, let's keep it really simple. Why should the couple that owns a $200,000 house pay twice the property tax as somebody that owns a $100,000 house, when the couple that owns the $200,000 house does not put any more demand on the service delivery than the couple that owns a $100,000 house? Our property tax system it came out of the era when agriculture was our primary industry in Georgia. And now things have changed dramatically. And so I'm very much in favor of shifting that burden from property owners to more sales tax. Sales tax is a broader tax. It is paid as a much fairer way to fund these local needs. And I've begun to talk about that more and more, and I'm going to continue to talk about it. The old lost here is a great example of what happens when you use that penny sales tax to reduce property taxes. Property taxes have been decreased dramatically. We have studies in some counties in Georgia, they could do away with property tax completely by adding a penny sales tax. So it is one of those topics that it just takes a lot of conversation and beginning to create more thought about it, about why we fund local government through property taxes. And it's a very, it's hard to find a reason why you should do it that way, and it is certainly hard to find an explanation that tells you it's a fair way to do it. I'm beginning to, I really like serving on the Ways and Means Committee. My background is in real estate. I was a county commissioner. I've sat on the other side of that budget table and heard the needs we have in a local community to fund law enforcement, to take care of streets, to take care of all the things that we need. But the idea that it should be funded solely with property taxes, for the most part with property taxes, is a flawed idea, and it's not a fair system. And it's time for us to be aggressive in really giving thought to that.
I saw in the news the other day, Mayor Miller has some requests, possibly, but he's very open with what he needs at City Hall, and he wants maybe the term. He's limited to 2 terms.
Yep.
The commissioners, however, can go 3 terms. I guess in somebody's, when they were drawing this up, I guess they had a good idea to do that, but how do you feel about something like that?
Well, I've read the mayor has been open about his thoughts and ideas about changing our charter, and changing the Macon-Bibb County charter in a number of ways. The term limits for mayor is certainly one of those that's at the top of his list. We have spoken about it some in casual conversation, and also I've read some newspaper reports where he's very open about what his thoughts are there. I think I am certainly open to thinking about it and talking about it. I've had just limited conversation with some of the members of our delegation. And of course, we're waiting. We have a big issue. You know, we won't have a new delegation until after the election. But as the new legislative session approaches, from what I'm hearing, I think that the mayor may and the commission may put in a formal request for that to be considered. I have been asking folks what they think about that, because my method of dealing with something like that is certainly I'm open to talking with the mayor about it and discussing it and talking to the other members of the delegation. But I also want to hear from some of my constituents about it. The arguments are that in many cities, let's argue for it for a moment. Many cities in Georgia and counties have no limits. And so they would say, yeah, we have term limits. It's an election every 4 years, and if somebody's doing a good job, they should be able to continue. So there's certainly an argument there for that a lot of cities don't have any limits. The other argument is, and the mayor and I have talked briefly about this, he says, well, if the commissioners have a three-term limit, then why shouldn't the mayor have the same thing so that they would all kind of match up? And I think that's a valid argument. I've spoken to other people who say, well, I don't know, I'm just not sure about it. One compelling argument I heard recently was this. A gentleman who had at first told me he wasn't sure it was a good idea has now come back and said, I've thought about it. It is so hard to find good people to serve. And so why limit your opportunity to do that? I think it's a very interesting question. There's some other issues that are being discussed in terms of charter change. I am open to talking about it and look forward to the discussion.
A good comparison is close by Warner Robins. They don't have a limitation, yet they do change mayors from time to time.
They do.
Even when the mayors don't want it changed.
Yeah. Well, I think very few, I think I'm correct, there are very few city governments in Georgia have term limits. So obviously the folks that handled this when the consolidated government was done a few years ago, they gave that a lot of thought. There were two things that in some of my conversations with some of them about it, the term limits had some importance to them. Also, too, they wanted the chief law enforcement officer to be an elected position, which is, of course, the way it is here with our sheriff. And I did mention Sheriff Davis a minute ago. He's a friend. I've certainly known him for years. I failed to mention him when I was running through the list of our sheriffs in my district.
The legislature meets in January, but before January, you got an election in November.
That is right. Yes.
Do you have opposition?
I do. I have a lady who I have not met yet. There's a lady from Jasper County is running for the seat, a Democrat, and I've not had the pleasure of meeting her, but I do have an opponent, and I look forward to meeting her at some point.
Well, just really heck of it. How about taking about a minute and tell folks why you need to go back up there?
Well, thank you for that opportunity. Well, I would say that it is an honor and a great blessing for me to be able to serve in the Georgia House of Representatives. I worked very hard to get there, and I'm very serious about it, and I have worked hard there. I work hard to take care of my constituents when they need things, and I try to be very thoughtful about legislation. I have carried a lot of legislation, and I have passed a lot of legislation and had several bills signed by the governor, so I think my success in terms of the legislative process is clear. I serve on a number of good committees. I have 9 committees now, and some of the most significant committees are, I am vice chairman of the Regulated Industries Committee, I am on Ways and Means, I am on Appropriations, the Health Appropriation Subcommittee, which is important to us in our area. The others, I'm on Higher Education, which I asked for because of Mercer and Wesleyan and Middle Georgia State. So my committee portfolio is good, and I work very hard, and I will continue to work hard if the people will send me back.
I think that was more in a minute, so I'm going to have to bill you. District 144,
Yeah.
Dale Washburn, thanks for coming by today and talking with us.
Always honored to be with you, Ron. Thank you for having me.
And thank you, folks, for being with us. I'm Ron Wildman over here at WMUB TV on the Mercer University campus.